This is the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast, where the shop talk is rock.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Frank.
And I'm Jerry.
And this is the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast, where the shop talk is rock. Episode 34. Jerry, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful, guys. You know that.
All right, Jim?
Always wonderful. Yep.
Doing great.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, Jerry. If you
No,
want to expound on that?
Yeah, I think I said wonderful twice. So okay. More wonderful.
More
wonderful.
Yeah. Wonderful.
All right.
I still watch that show on Sunday nights, Lawrence Welk Show, folks, out in Conspiracy Land. Channel
funny.
24, PBS. Yep.
Is it seriously on?
Yes.
That's
Sunday
funny.
evenings at 7 p.m.
You want to watch?
Just like it's been since before we were born.
Yeah.
I'm
No
thinking.
joke.
You want to watch a show that did not hold the test of time? Check out an old episode of The Love Boat. Terrible. Terrible. The acting, the stories, just the worst.
And that thing went like 10 seasons or something.
Forever, yeah.
It went quite a while. It went
Went a long time.
Yeah.
Yes. Same thing with Bionic Woman and $6 Million Man. I remember that was religion when we were in, second or third, fourth grade?
Something like that.
But now you see it now. Oh, this is so corny.
Yeah, they're bad.
It's bad. Yeah, it's bad. I couldn't wait to see it.
Hey, I want to give you guys an update real quick. Remember last episode we were talking about the fire out in Banning that destroyed the plant that makes the lacquers for albums.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I checked out a couple of indie record plants, and they have halted production for new artists. They are continuing with people that have already placed orders, but they're not accepting any new ones until this thing stables out.
Till they catch up, probably.
Is it really that bad, guys? There's, I mean,
two places.
everybody, last 10 years, vinyl has just started making such a comeback.
Yeah.
There's nobody foresaw this and said, I'm going to open up a vinyl plant.
Well, let's be honest. There's a lot of vinyl that gets sold, but I mean, it's nothing like it was in the day. I mean, it's still minuscule comparatively.
Well, it's all it was in the day.
And minuscule. I know, but you used to have record pressing plants all over the country.
Right. Pico Rivera, there was a row of them in Pico.
Good point.
Anyways, well, speaking of that, the reason I found out about these record plants is I've got a mail call. And if you remember a few episodes back, our friends from Cronkite.
Yes.
They put out an album of their digital release and went ahead and went vinyl, had it remastered. And I went to buy it, and George said, no, let me send one to you. So
nice.
Right on.
And it's a real nice package.
Yes.
And I happened to look at one of the companies that they use to press this, and it's called Well Made Records. They're not accepting any new clients at this time.
Nothing, huh?
No. They're back in Ohio, as a matter of fact.
Ah.
But
wow.
George and Cronkite, thank you for the album. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Cronkite.
Sounds great.
Yep. Awesome.
I have two other records that came out, both reissues, but you know how I love my colored vinyl.
Yeah.
The first one is Great White Recover.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is in red vinyl.
Nice.
I don't
different cover though from the original.
This is like the same that came out on the CD, not the original album. And this has got red vinyl. It's got all. My favorite is there's a cover of Tangled Up in Blue, a Bob Dylan classic.
Wow.
That Great White do. It's really good.
Awesome.
The other album, the reissue, is also from Great White. It's called Stage. Now, this was recorded in 1993 and 1994. The first, and this is white vinyl, by the way.
Nice.
The first record was recorded at the House of Blues, which is closed down, the one in Los Angeles. And it's got a lot of their songs on it. Afterglow that they did,
Nice.
Train to Nowhere, House of Broken Love. Great live performance. The second LP on this is recorded in Anaheim, that used to be the Celebrity Theater, and this has Face the Day and Rock Me and some of their other classics.
Cool.
But another white vinyl. This thing is smooth.
Yeah.
So,
Frank loves his vinyl. We all do.
Yeah, I'm enjoying collecting again. So
good.
It's fun. So what else is going on out there, guys?
Jaime?
New James Bond movie coming out.
Speaking of which, is that why it came up, Frank? Is that why you thought of that?
Yeah.
There's a new one out?
No, that's...
Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, my song is wonderful. I re-listened. I'm sorry, Jim, interrupted you. New James Bond
they just
with
released
Daniel
that.
Craig.
Just released the newest theme song by Billie Eilish. And have you guys heard it?
Nope.
No.
I know. She cleaned up at the Grammys.
She cleaned up at the Grammys. She did. Matter of fact, my son said, "How did they pick her?" And I said, "You just have to be the hot commodity at the moment.
That's
Usually, whoever the big artist is of the day is who they end up kind of getting to do the theme song." But I thought it'd be fun to just kind of ask you guys what is your favorite James Bond theme song?
Yeah. Well, I already know what Jerry's is.
I bet you don't.
Maybe not. Okay.
Nobody does it better.
That's my favorite.
Really?
I love Carly Simon.
Carly Simon.
I love that song to this day. I re-listened to it, and I'm sorry. From The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yep.
Roger Moore.
Very interesting.
I love that
not
song.
The pick I thought you would say, and you said the same.
I said the same. Yeah.
Go, Frank.
Yeah. I thought, of course, Jerry would have picked Live and Let Die, of course.
I thought that would have been both of your picks.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a good song.
Yeah, it is. And I remember seeing that movie at the theaters and The Spy Who Loved Me at the theaters. And I can just vividly remember at the ending credits where they just kept playing that Carly song. Carly Simon just kept playing it at the end credits. And I think I stayed in the theater to listen to the song as opposed to just watching all the credits. Oh, yeah. Oh, the strings.
Carly Simon is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Jim?
This is going to sound really kind of weird. The very first James Bond movie I saw was View to a Kill.
Oh.
Duran Duran.
And still my favorite theme song of the bunch.
Very good.
That's
Solid
a worthy pick.
Not my favorite Bond movie, but
it had Grace Jones in it. That's
had Grace Jones.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the Roger Moore era.
Yeah. It is what it is. I mean, because by the time I got old enough to go to a theater and watch a movie, it was always Roger Moore. I don't know when he took over, 70, 71, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was always Roger Moore as far as me going to the theaters. And then as I got older, you see, Dr. No. And so, yeah, it's a open topic. Favorite James Bond.
Anyway, I thought I have listened to the Billie Eilish song. I listened to it a couple times. I think it's okay. It's good. I think once you hook it up with the visuals, I think it's going to be very effective. I think when you see the visuals, in the very beginning credits,
silhouettes,
that's right, the silhouettes. Yeah.
I think it always kind of adds something to the song. The song makes a little more sense and context.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just me. But View to a Kill, Duran
View to a Kill, very good.
Wow,
that's all right.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't heard the new one. I'll have to check it out. I'm not the new music today, wow.
Don't we sound like a bunch of old codgers?
Yeah.
And them kids today, I don't know what they're listening to over there.
Well, Cindy and I were in the kitchen today, and she's playing, here, like some radio station, I think it's an Escondido or something comes in. It's the only radio station. It's a pop thing. And, it's on a loop. The same people over and over and over. And they're catchy. Don't get me wrong, some really catchy tunes, but it's nothing that we're going to remember in 5 years' time.
I have this.
According to you.
Yeah.
What was popular 5 years ago? I have a real aversion to auto tune, and when I hear that in a song, It just sets my teeth
check
on
out.
edge. I can't.
See, now I don't even. Don't ruin it for me. Don't tell me what auto tune is, because I'm still upset that you said "Kiss Alive" had overdubs and stuff on it. That threw me, because to me the drum.
Let it go, Jerry.
Yeah.
I can't. I listened to Kiss Alive 25 years before I even heard that. Oh, sorry, folks.
Yeah, I remember when I first heard that too. I was like, "What?
Yeah, I was heartbroken.
They did this all in the
Oh,
studio?
yeah.
What?"
Don't say it again.
Yeah. Oh, some other
Uh-oh.
news. I
Made my
was-
peace with it.
I was just talking to a friend of mine. He told me Ted Templeman's got an autobiography coming out.
Oh, wow.
That's all. That's
That'll-
all.
That'll be a good read.
That will be a good read,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Who else has he done besides Van Halen?
Solo,
I've seen him on a
Sammy
couple
Hagar.
things. Did he
He's,
do a Cars one or Cheap Trick? What am I thinking?
Cheap Trick, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
That's the one.
Ted Temple. Yeah.
But he's been around.
Yep. Never seen that name.
Yes.
Anyways, tonight we've got 3 very different bands to present. So, Jerry, why don't you go right on in and tell us what you got going on?
Okay, thank you, Frank. The band is called Rock N Roll Circus. Rock with the letter N, Rock N Roll Circus. And if you want to get a hold of them, and it's these guys only, they're out of Vancouver, rockandrollcircus.ca. Rock and Roll Circus is a band whose sound will instantly remind you of the great jam rock bands of the early 70s when the electric guitar ruled the airwaves. After releasing their self-titled debut album in 2015, Rock and Roll Circus returned to the studio in early 2019 to record their second album, Bottle Rockets and Cherry Bombs, which this cut is from. The cut is called Annabella. Like the debut album, the band's new record is influenced by the Faces, Stones, and Allman Brothers. But this time out, the group puts more emphasis on extended guitar solos and percussion, courtesy of conga player Liam McDonald, resulting in a sound similar to Stephen Still's Manassas and Black Crow's Amorica. And though the lyrics this time out are a little darker, about, focusing on addiction, dead-end jobs, femme fatales, and politics, which is pretty dark. The members of the Rock and Roll Circus singer Chris Woodstraw, bassist Jeremy Holmes, percussionist Liam McDonald on conga, drummer John Olton, and guitarists Aaron Moser and Scott Smith have been part of the West Coast rock and roll blues scene since the late 90s, playing and recording with such artists as Rich Hope, Barney Bental, Dave Hidalgo, John Hammond, Joe Keithley, and No Sinner. The new album also has some special guest appearances by La Chinga's Chris Reed, Colleen Renison, Ashley Grant, and Daryl Havers. Daryl Havers is a Vancouver Hammond organ wizard who has played with everyone from Doug Sam to Bo Diddley. That's the one that gets me. Bo Diddley with Hammond organ. Recorded at Afterlife Studios, formerly Mushroom Studios, where Led Zeppelin recorded. Bottle Rockets and Cherry Bombs, the new album, just released. It's on vinyl, CD, and streaming. And the song Frank's going to play is Annabella. And one little mention from Darcia Haley from Real Rock and Roll says, and this is kind of true, it says, Rock and Roll Circus sounds like I flipped on the radio 40 years ago. This is rock at its roots when it was raw and real. And again, the rockandrollcircus.ca, and the tune Frank's going to spin is Annabella.
And here we go.
clean. I don't go looking for trouble, and it don't find me. I spend my life on this interstate. I ain't the merry young kind. 500 miles of hauling freight, I need to unwind. Annabella won't let me down. She's always up for another shot or another round. You got some money and she'll be fine hanging around.
All right, that's Annabella from Rock N Roll Circus. Good, straightforward rock and roll.
May I add one more time, Frank? And,
May.
and Jaime, rockandrollcircus.ca, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Deezer, CD Baby, out of Vancouver. Rock and Roll Circus, Annabella.
All right. What's your take on that, Jim?
Love it.
I love stuff like this. I like that Stonesy vibe, the little grit in there, and
Stonesy. I have that on my note.
I said
Stone-ish.
Stonesy as in Rolling Stones, not
That's
stone,
right.
not
Oh, no.
stony or stonery,
I knew what you meant. No.
if that's
I knew what
even
you
a
meant.
word.
No. No, I put yeah, Stones-ish.
Yeah, very,
Stones-ish, yeah.
very
Yep.
much a
Oh.
Stones influence for sure.
Cider enough time, yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I like it. Canadians make good rock and roll.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, they do.
And they're so damn polite.
That's a stereotype, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad one, is it?
No. It's not a bad one.
Yeah. No, I like that because everything is spaced out nicely in the mix. You hear a little piano doing a boogie on there. You hear the slide guitar and the rhythm. The drum is just
Hammond.
nice, straightforward.
Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff. And you said
Rock and Roll Circus out of Vancouver, folks.
So they're available on
rockandrollcircus.ca.
and so they're available on vinyl also, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Vinyl, CD, streaming. Yep.
Good deal. Wow.
Yes.
Have to check
Thank
them
you,
out.
Frank. Awesome. Yep.
Moving ahead, I actually have an artist. I told you it was going to be a little different from what I usually play for you guys. And the song, which I'll play in a few minutes, but first I'm going to play an interview that I did with Justin Dubé. He goes by Fraidy Cat. So had the pleasure of talking to him. He gave me a call, but I want to play a little game with you guys and everybody out in conspiracy land. This is your chance. Go get your drink of choice. Get a beer, get a glass of whiskey, get a glass of water, whatever it is you feel like drinking. But every time I say the word platform in this interview, platform,
Take a drink.
take a drink, and we'll see who's still standing.
Well, the way you're leading up to it, Frank, I'm going to go get me some water.
Yeah, I
So I can make
suggest.
it
Exactly.
Here's my interview with Justin right here. All right, join us now on the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast is Justin Dubé, also known as Fraidy Cat. How you doing, Justin?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. I see you're sporting your Detroit Lions or Tigers hat there,
Tigers? Yep.
and that's letting our listeners know who are just listening and not watching. You are from Detroit.
That's right.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the music? The song that I presented is Broken Bones. And that's off your release from 2019, just last year. But why don't you first tell us a little bit about the name of where you came up with the name Fraidy Cat?
There's almost no story there. I just thought it kind of sounded indie. I don't know. I honestly don't remember where I got it. I just thought it sounded kind of cool. So, and it was, I don't go under my own name when I write music, so I figured a moniker would be a good idea.
Right. Excellent. Well, I like your 2014 release with the anatomy of the cat and everything on the cover.
Thanks.
That's great.
Appreciate it.
Your song is a little different from what I usually present to the guys.
Yeah.
And I got like a Marilyn Manson vibe off of that opening track. But I'm curious, what are some of your musical influences, and What got you into recording music?
Well, honestly, I grew up listening to, the grunge era rock. STP was probably my favorite band back in the day. And then I got into, the Beatles. I think the Beatles are probably the thing that got me into writing music. And then I got into punk and hardcore and all that. And so I did that for 15, 20 years. I was just sort of playing in bands doing that. And then I decided I have run out of ideas on guitar. I just sort of fell out of love with it for a little while. So I just started doing the Fraidy Cat thing, and I was more interested in coming up with different sorts of sounds and doing more poppy stuff. I guess something that I'd never done before.
Definitely a lot of textures involved with the when you add the keyboards to it.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about some of your recording techniques. Are you all computer based? What platform are you using?
Well, I have a very, very old MacBook Pro, so I'm running Logic 10, and which is amazing. And as far as audio interface, I'm using a 10-year-old interface that's been working for me for a while, and I think everything I recorded with on the Fraidy Cat stuff at least was through an SM58, which is the cheap handheld vocal microphone.
Right.
But it's all of that stuff is mostly in the box.
Right.
Computer based.
Very good. Now, since you say you're using a little bit older equipment, and this is just for the geeks that are listening, are you going with the keyboards MIDI or are you going direct?
Yeah, I have a MIDI keyboard, and that's it. End of story. I don't know. Sorry.
I for one, MIDI has just it baffles me. I have more problems setting it up than using it.
Yeah, I think it's gotten a lot better since it's USB. You can travel over USB now, but yeah, the technical part of that is a mystery to me as well.
On the latest release, you've got it's a 5-song EP.
Yep.
How long does it take you to record one song once you've got all your ideas down?
Well, for the Fraidy Cat stuff, it's just a never-ending. I think it took me 4 years to do that because I was busy with other things, and then I got writer's block for a while and just struggled. So I can't pin it down a number for that, but to me, the thing about computer, digital audio now is that it can constantly evolve and everything. So that's sort of what those songs how those songs came about, was just going back to it every once in a while and adding things and doing new stuff.
All right. Well, I found as a homegrown musician, I do mostly guitar-based songs, and I'll knock a song out in 4 or 5 hours once I've practiced it for weeks on end.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty much sick of it, and then I'll move on to another song, and then a lot of times I forget what I did on the first song. So that's how it evolves for me. So now, are you a trained musician? Are you schooled in any way, or are you just self-taught?
Not really. I mean, I took some theory classes in college, but that's all gone. That's like learning Spanish. I don't remember anything,
Very good. Now you've got your songs out on Bandcamp. Mm-hmm. Have you uploaded them to any other platforms, iTunes or CD Baby or anything like that?
I'm in the process of going. I've never done Spotify or anything like that before. I'm going to be doing that in the coming weeks, hopefully. But it's just a whole, you got to find you want to get on playlists and all this other stuff. So I'm just doing all these different research.
It's a lot of work, that's for sure. It's time consuming. And what has been your response so far to this latest release? Have you got some of a local fan base or friends from former bands following you, or how's your fan base growing?
Well, yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's mostly friends that I've known forever. or played in bands with, and it's been getting a good response from them. I remember one guy saying, I was shocked because this is not what we used to do.
That's
and,
good.
and beyond that, I've had a few people contact me through Bandcamp that just kind of found it, like you.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think I look for the show. I look through Reverb Nation. There's a lot of bands on there. I don't get a lot of response back. I think the communication is lacking with their platform. Bandcamp, I reach out to folks and weekly I get people back calling me, or now they're calling the show asking, hey, unfortunately, a lot of the people that contact us, their music isn't quite up to what we want to play.
Oh,
Your production value is radio ready.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Super clean. Love the song.
Thank you.
The Fraidy Cat, the original EP, has got 4 songs on it, and love every one of them. Very different, like I said, from what I usually present to the guys. But you've got a sound that is definitely it's resonating, and I think we can get some traction with the right amount of exposure. I think you're on the right track.
Well, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that. It means a lot.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for this spot here, and we're going to move on with the show. Justin, I greatly appreciate you coming on the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
All right. All right. Well, that was Justin Dubé, and better known as Fraidy Cat in the music community. And here's his song right now, Broken Bones.
Till the day becomes night. Don't stay for the fight, 'cause they're gonna eat you alive. Set fire to what you leave behind. Ask yourself if you believe you can get up off your knees. I heal your broken bones if you heal my broken bones. It's time we make our escape to heaven's gate. Bury your dead and pray they deserve what they get. Holding your breath, just wait for the poison to vent. Lower your head, your turn for Russian roulette, but don't pull the trigger. Turn your gun on anyone who lights the flame that burns you at the stake. I'll heal your broken bones if you heal my broken bones. It's time we make our escape. I'll heal your broken bones if you heal my broken bones. These wounds won't keep us afraid.
All right. Well, that is Fraidy Cat with Broken Bones. Before I get your guys' reaction on that, Jerry,
like
how many
that, yeah.
times did I say platform that you
I
got?
marked 2, but then I was in and out. Jaime reminded me of one of them. I put 2,
Yeah,
but then I missed the beginning of it because you said we could all get up and go, fiddle about.
I think
I put 2, but then Jaime, I'm sure I missed out.
I think I edited one out, to be honest with you.
I only heard 2.
Yeah.
Well, good job. I got 2.
All right.
So,
Well, it wasn't as bad as I thought.
talk about the patience of Job. Let's just change this to the JJJ Conspiracy Podcast.
Well, how'd you like that song, Jerry?
I loved it.
Isn't
I
that
love
catchy?
that techno stuff. It's like Franz Ferdinand / something else. I like that.
What about you, Jim?
Who are you, and what have you done with Frank?
You know what? You know what is so...
This is really out of your wheelhouse. When I listened to this the other day, I was like, wow,
love
this
that.
is a little shocking
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
It's a hit song.
Isn't
He's
it?
coming. It's radio ready, like Frank said.
Let me ask you guys
Absolutely.
something. We were talking about James Bond songs earlier. Would that not fit in the beginning of a James Bond movie?
Oh,
Sure.
in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
just not.
Yep.
Kids onto something.
Maybe during the silhouette stuff too. And then do the silhouette stuff. Yep.
Well, if you
Yeah,
want,
Very well done. My
Yes.
hat's off to the guy.
That's ready to go. Fraidy Cat. That's ready to
Great,
go.
great production.
some of the other stuff, there's layers of guitars on there too, and check them out on Bandcamp.
Yeah. Vocals too. Good
Good
background.
music.
Barely
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Got a real good voice. So, anyways, that's Fraidy Cat. Check him out.
Like it. Yep.
All right, Jim. Why don't you bring it up the rear? And I'm not even going to say a word.
I'm gonna blow you guys' minds because I'm doing something so completely different this time.
Is the
I've
song
got-
more than 3 minutes?
No.
No.
Is it a female singer?
Yes.
Okay. Blow our minds, huh? Yeah. Okay.
Three-piece band out of Long Beach, California.
right. Big
Just
LB.
down the 605 from me.
Yeah.
This is the 7 and 6. As you've already pointed out, female fronted,
Yep.
punky,
Well, yeah.
pop,
Apple doesn't fall far. Yeah. Apple doesn't fall far. I'm gonna blow you guys' mind. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, not at all. This is right up my alley. So Tom Richards on guitar, Lisa Elsie Michaels on bass and vocals, and Mike John Altier on drums. This is from their second release. This came out in October of 2019, so it's just a few months old. It's called EP number 1. Previous to that, they had a single out, Monster Shindig and Skeleton Surfer. That was in 2017, October of 2017. So 2 years in between. They do have a full length coming out this year. Their influences will not shock you any. Jam, Supergrass, Ramones,
Just like your pick.
The Hives, The Who, Squire, The Creation, The Chords. I picked out my favorite ones out of there.
Yeah.
There's that
Yeah,
one.
you did.
Tula Clark.
That's funny.
So, but it. Come on, how long has it been since I've had a female fronted band?
2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
was
what
a
you get,
lot.
Jaime. That's what
right.
you get. You know, Frank's got the numbers.
Yeah.
I was gonna give you a little bit more time, but Frank was on it. Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I find
Two
though,
weeks,
because
huh?
when I'm cruising Bandcamp,
I love Bandcamp.
so do I.
Yeah, I do too.
So like I pick up the power pops, all the current power pop releases, all the current mod releases, garage releases, and whatever it is, these female fronted bands just seem to rise to the top of the category. So anyway, this is called Stratoplastic.
Love the name.
They got a video out for this too. I'm going to post it up on when we get the episode up here, but
Cool.
you'll hear why I like it.
All right. Let's give it a spin.
Crashing around and standing out on the edge. Give them what they want and they'll be coming again. Staging in fashion to the dream of the day. Commit to every record that you're willing to play. Alright.
go.
Wow.
Catchy.
Catchy.
Who does that
Well
voice
produced
remind me of?
again.
I can't- Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
Vocals are kind of sweet.
yeah, that's
A little sweet sounding. She's
That's
got a nice
awesome.
voice.
that's great. I mean,
So
wow.
Long Beach, by any chance, when you were
Wow.
looking them up, did they have any? They play around locally?
I think they do. I thought I saw some gigs listed on their Facebook page.
Yeah, I'll have to check
But
that out.
they got a big following. They're like 12,000 something
Followers?
Nice.
follows on
Yeah.
Facebook. So
Wow.
Well, they're
That's
making
good
videos,
stuff.
so they're doing
Yes.
something right.
Yes. Stratoplastic Records is their
Ah,
name of their record label there.
Love it.
4-song EP. Everything else on the album on that EP is as good as that. I mean, it's all well crafted, just well produced, well performed.
yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, that's very good, Jim. Very good.
So,
Yep.
Oh, a lot of times.
that was my purchase of the week, man. That was a great.
Oh, you got your money's worth there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yes.
good stuff. A lot of times when you go to Bandcamp and we pick a band and we use their music as the first song because it's their strongest song, that was the fourth song on the E EP.
Ooh, so we got stuff to look forward to.
Yeah.
More forward to, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as we're done here tonight, I'm gonna go back and buy the single because
Nice.
Monster Shindig and the Skeleton Surfer. I mean, with those titles, you cannot go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
it's
I
gotta
hear
be
Shindig
great
and
stuff.
Surfer, yeah. Oh, yeah. Takes me to a place. Yep.
I like that. The 7 and the 6, or is it 6's?
No, the 7 and 6.
The 7 and 6. There you
Spelled
go.
out. Spelled out. Not the numbers.
Spelled out.
Spelled out.
Very
Correct.
nice.
Yep.
Find them on Bandcamp
Yep.
Good
and on
deal.
Facebook.
Yep.
All right.
If you go to Facebook, it'll direct you to Bandcamp so you can buy a copy.
There you go. Now, by any chance, is there vinyl?
No vinyl. I know. I'm hoping. I was really hoping that single was on a 7-inch, but
Yeah.
no
Gotcha.
go. But they said there's an album coming out, so we might see some vinyl
There you go.
this year.
There you
A
go.
little patient.
What happens?
Yep. Yep.
Nice. All right, guys. This episode 34, we have a special What Floats My Boat. It comes from our friend Jeff Brenneman. And he does not hold back on what floats his boat.
Nope.
And let me play this for you, if I might.
Hello, JFJ Conspiracy. Hello, Jim, Frank, Jerry, and everybody in Conspiracy Land. Just wanted to say that I've really been enjoying the little clips that you've been doing from your listeners doing What Floats Your Boat. So I immediately decided, yeah, this is something I want to do. So I started looking through my collection, looking at some stuff, and I was like, what can I highlight? First thing I thought of was this band right here, Soundtrack of Our Lives. These guys were formed in Sweden, played from 95 to 2012, put out 6 albums, this one being Behind the Music. Saw these guys once and they reminded me a little bit of the Doors, the way they performed it. Nah, I didn't want to do that one. So then I started thinking, looking through the collection that I've been playing lately, how about this one? Zumpano. So Zumpano was a 90s power pop band from Canada, and they put out 2 albums. This one came out in 94 with what the Rookie did. Has a song on here, The Party Rages On. That's my go-to car song, but one of the guys, AC Carl Newman, went on to form a Canadian power pop band, New Pornographers, but nah, that's not good. That's not what floats my boat. How about this one? Teenage Fan Club. These guys formed in '89 near Glasgow, Scotland. Teenage Fan Club has 11 albums, and these guys can write a hook like nobody can, and they have a song, Sparky's Dream. If you haven't heard it, highly recommended it. Do they float my boat? Yeah, but that's not what I want to talk about. How about these guys? The Sea and Cake. These guys I discovered when I went to Chicago and I was looking for a local band to see while I was there. Read about these guys and said, gotta see these. Went to the club, they were sold out. But I bought this record. They were an indie band, formed in Chicago. They got some jazz influence in their indie rock pop, so really cool band. So there's a song on here, Jack in the Ball. Love it. Float my boat? Yeah. It's not the one I want to talk about, but This? I hardly ever hear anybody talk about this, and it surprises me. This band is called P. This band was formed in '93 by the Butthole Surfers frontman Gibby Hayes, and actor Johnny Depp plays guitar in here. A couple other guys. And interesting thing about these guys, they played at Johnny Depp's club, the Viper Room, and they were playing the night that Phoenix River died. They were playing one of the songs in here, interestingly enough, called Michael Stipe, named after the singer from R.E.M. But been listening to this lately. Float My Boat? Yeah, but it's not the one. That's not the one. How about this? Not a Surf. These guys, they're just getting ready to release their 9th album called Never Not Together. These guys are based out of New York City. They've been playing since the early 90s. This is one of my favorite albums. The stars are indifferent to astronomy. This album cranks. Does it float my boat? It does. But this right here, Conspiracy Land, folks, Brendan Benson. This is what's been floating my boat lately. So this album came out originally in '96. People may know Brendan from his collaboration with Jack White as part of the Rockin' Tours. So those two are the main songwriters, Brendan and Jack White. And Brendan Benson put out this album, One Mississippi. This came out in '96, but never on vinyl. So it was just recently released on vinyl. And this guy, most of these that I've picked out, power pop bands, people that can write good hooks, this guy can write a hook like nobody's business. Fun, clean guitars, jangly. Anybody that is into, from your listeners that may like the Cars or maybe the Knack, I know you covered the Knack, might like this. So good power pop. So enough talking. Come over here. I say we drop the needle on this one. What do you guys say? This is what's floating my boat, folks.
I once knew a woman, she was skin and bones. Invited all the insects to come into her home. She trained them so well they could answer her phone. The day finally came when that poor woman was overthrown. Her husband returned home from voyages.
All right. Well, that was Jeff Brennan with What Floats My Boat. Thank you, Jeff. We greatly appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. Thank
I like
you.
the way he narrowed that down.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
you know,
very decisive in what he likes.
that's right. I had no idea. I was like, wow.
Great. Everything he played was good, though.
Yeah, that guy can pull
Good
out some stuff. Yeah. Thank you, Jeffrey.
That
Thank
was
you.
great.
Yep.
And any of our listeners, if you've got the inclination to do a video and tell us what floats your boat, what you're listening to, send it on in. You can send it to us via Messenger. You can email us at jfjshow@gmail.com. Let us know what floats your boat. Greatly
Please.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let us know, folks.
So we talked about this briefly last week. We were hit up by the copyright police.
Damn the man.
Damn the man for playing copyrighted music. All we're trying to do, like Jim has said time and time again, is turn some people on to some music they may have forgotten. We're not trying to make any money off of this.
Oh.
We're actually trying to help them by sell some records.
Yep.
But
Play 10 seconds of each tune, and that's too much.
well,
Damn the man.
damn the man. That's kind of been my mantra lately.
Well,
So, anyways, that's not going to stop us from talking about a classic album, though. And we were in the process of talking about soundtracks, and it was your pick, Jerry. So what soundtrack did you pick?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Mr. Hand.
Very good. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
1982. Good soundtrack.
That was a good movie. Good
Yeah,
movie.
great movie. Yep.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack. Yeah.
What we decide? 19 songs, right?
19 songs at an hour and 7 minutes. So right in Jaime's wheelhouse. Right in it. I mean, it's a home run swing for Jaime on this. I didn't do the math, but 19 tunes and 67 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
Interesting. Jim and I were talking a little bit about this. This particular album, this had to be an album where these individuals actually wrote a song for the soundtrack.
That's what I think.
They weren't picked off of albums, or they weren't singles of anybody's. And we noticed that we've got the Eagles in there, all individually, and Jackson Brown, he's in there. But what I found is some of the songs, when I look at like the Jackson Brown, I can remember that portion of the movie because they don't play but 10, 15 seconds during the movie of the song.
Some of these songs you have to go back. You hear the soundtrack, you have to go back and watch the movie. When did it come in?
Yeah,
and maybe a couple seconds.
Well, I see Donna Summer. I can't tell you when her song was in there.
Neither can I.
Highway Runner. I have
Highway
no idea.
Runner. Yeah.
Stevie Nicks. I don't know.
No, I think that was a love scene.
Palmer.
No.
I don't know. But anyways, did you have a favorite song on that album, Jerry?
Oh yeah. I don't know. Spicoli's theme by Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
And I don't know when Margaritaville came out. It seems to me it was before that. This is 82. When did Margaritaville come out? I don't know. But I remember hearing this tune and not even knowing it was Jimmy Buffett till I, bought the soundtrack and played it. It said Jimmy Buffett. I'm like, wow. Yeah. So by far, I don't know, in parentheses, Spicoli's theme by Jimmy Buffett is my favorite by far. Yep.
Good deal. Jim, what's your take on the album?
Pretty lightweight. Yeah. And I started thinking about this. I mean, it's probably been a couple decades since I've seen this movie, right?
Right.
This movie is really about Stacy. Vast majority of it.
It's her. Yeah.
So it's really kind of a romance. I mean, we think of it as kind of a comedy because you think of Jeff Spicoli and all the funny kind of things that happen with that.
That's comedy relief. Yeah.
But it's really a love story. Yep. Or sort of love misadventure for this girl Stacy. And I think that's why a lot of this is kind of ballady and kind of
syrupy.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed about this that drove me a little crazy is the production's. It's got that sort of sappy keyboard. Mm-hmm. Everything's kind of keyboard heavy, but not in a good way. It's not like good synth pop. It's sort of an obnoxious synthesizer in there.
But you got to remember, it is 1982.
Correct.
So it is a product of its time.
No doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Like I said, the standout tune for me always has been, always will be Billy Squires. This could be the best years of our lives. Yep. That song rocks. That was right up Billy Squires' alley at the time.
Great horn section.
Yeah. And of course, Sammy's song, Fast Times. It was a rocker for what it was.
Yep.
Forgettable.
But even that got a little saturated with keyboard in it. I was like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I have the LP around here somewhere.
We can't play it just so we can.
Yeah, you can't do it justice. Man. But even playing 30-second snippets here and there, you get the idea. Right. You would hear some of the good stuff on it, but being 60 minutes of music, it's a double album, and it almost. Some of the stuff falls into that Rolling Stones era where it's just like, oh, this is filler. This song is filler. And you wonder, like I say, without watching the movie, it's hard to put it in context of, how this song fit in whatsoever. So,
yeah, you'd have to see the movie. Yeah.
Does it stand the test of time as far as a classic album? Not without a movie, it doesn't.
To me, it does. I mean, on the re-listen, but then that's funny, Frank, you say that, because when I re-listen, my head goes to the movie.
Phoebe Cates,
a little bit. Is she in this movie?
I think so. I think I read something.
She had a couple minutes in it.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. Didn't we all?
Doesn't anybody knock anymore? God.
Doesn't anybody knock anymore? Exactly.
I actually, Judge Reinhold was
Beautiful, Frank. Beautiful.
Judge Reinhold was the best part of the movie for me because he
He
you know,
meets Nancy Wilson at a stoplight,
oh
right?
my goodness,
Wearing
yes.
his pizza gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's
From
wearing
Heart,
that
folks,
stupid
the guitar
chicken
player, yeah.
outfit and he's got to throw
got
it
his-
out the
yeah.
window and
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah.
Anyways, Fast Times at
Yeah.
Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
I think it's a better movie than it is a soundtrack. That's
I would kind of agree, but then when I go silent, and you just listen to it, it has a lot of stuff when you listen to like some of these artists, like Louise Goffin, Uptown Boys. I love that song. I love that song, and I guarantee you, I probably never heard it on the radio, never heard of her as an artist. But
No.
when you play it on the soundtrack, it all fits in with the tunes before it and after it. And like Donna Summer, you said, Highway Runner and I Don't Know by Jimmy Buffett and Love Is the Reason by Graham Nash. That's a great tune.
Yeah.
And I don't have any Graham Nash, anyway. So yeah. And of course the Goodbye Goodbye by Oingo Boingo. Yep.
Boingo Boingo. Quarter Flashes
That's
on there.
it's my favorite
That's
favorite
pretty
song
too.
on the album.
You Oingo
Poco.
Boingos? Yeah.
Yep.
Oingo Boingo.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, there you have it. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So the next episode, we're going to round it off, and I'm going to give you my pick of my classic album. And initially, Jim thought it was going to be Rocky Horror Picture Show. Do you have something else?
Which is a great soundtrack, folks.
Spectacular.
Wow.
But I told you the soundtrack that I have, you will know every song as soon as it's played. And
Can I guess it?
you sure can.
I'm gonna guess Heavy Metal, Jaime, the cartoon.
Oh, good guess.
Nice guess, but no.
I'm gonna go Valley Girl.
Hey, no, it's not.
Oh, Jaime.
That's another good one.
Yeah.
I was a little more raw, as far as music goes. You probably, maybe being a young
Soundtrack.
parent, you probably didn't see this movie, but it's all about our age and whatnot. But the movie is called Dazed and Confused.
Oh,
Every single song was a 70s metal hit, hands down. And it's a double album. And unfortunately, I won't be able to play it for you guys. But let's just
Damn the man.
damn the man.
damn the man! What
Real
the heck?
quickly, give you something just to, wet your whistle to. Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, Rick Derringer, Slow Ride, Foghat, School's Out, Jim Dandy, Black Oak Arkansas,
Nice.
Wow.
Tush,
Arkansas.
Love Hurts. I just
Is that
lost
Nazareth version?
Nazareth?
Nazareth.
Oh, yes.
Kiss, Rock and Roll All Night. I mean, the list goes on and on. Sweet Emotion from Aerosmith. Every song is from our time of just when we were kids listening to music. And that's my pick, and we'll talk about that on the next episode of the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast. That'll be episode 35. Without any classic
guys.
music.
Right.
So here's a challenge for next time then.
Okay.
So we each picked a favorite soundtrack.
Right.
Yep.
So what would be your top 3 rock and roll soundtracks?
Oh. Well, I'll have to give that some. You want an answer right now, or do you want?
No, you can think on it. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it next time.
Let's top.
Well,
three.
my first two are going to be Star Wars and Jaws, right?
Yes. We did say rock and roll soundtracks. though.
Oh boy. Okay.
I don't think John Williams qualifies there, but
No.
No,
He
he's
can get pretty crazy sometimes, Jaime.
he
Yeah,
pumped
he's
out the
nutty.
music. I want to let our listeners know right after. I wasn't going to say anything, but what the heck? Right after this episode, we're going to be premiering a video of "Damn the Man." So stick around, watch that, give it a listen. Might even
on.
have a link where you can buy a copy of the song just for your own self. We'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, in the meantime, like I said, I'm really bummed out about the classic music portion. And if you guys want to write a letter to every record company there is saying, hey, we're doing a podcast, we want permission to play your music, and see if we get any response, we could wait on that and never do another podcast,
Right.
That's the
well,
problem.
The thing is, what I don't like, Jim and Frank, is you can't even play a little nibble.
No.
You know, these days you can't even. I mean, the nibble is so small. I think basically what we're doing, folks, out in conspiracy land, is playing enough of it so you go, oh yeah,
Yeah.
You know, we're not playing the whole tune, we're not playing the whole verse, and you know,
Well,
that's where we keep up with "Damn the Man."
I
The
said,
man's trying to keep us down. Yep.
if you guys want to break out the ukuleles and then we can play Name That Tune with a classic album, that's one thing. But
Okay.
I don't play ukulele well.
No.
I don't either. But you know, I've seen some
I can
videos.
I can play a little bit, but not really well.
You know, you'd think there's only 4 strings on that thing. How hard can it be? Man, it's a tough instrument to play.
That's why
You know what-
that's why
you know
I chose the bass.
Yeah.
You know what's
Four
funny? You know,
strings,
one
man,
at a
one
time.
for each finger.
You know what's funny about ukulele is Pete Townsend and George Harrison absolutely adore the ukulele, and that's just funny. That's
wanna-
just funny.
You want to pick up a good album.
Yeah, and an extensive ukulele collection.
You want to pick up a good album, check out Eddie Vedder. He's got a solo album of all ukulele songs.
Oh wow!
Amazing. He's already got a strong voice, and then you put him strumming a ukulele. You will be
Wow.
surprised. I forget the name of it off the top of my head right now, but it's in my collection. It's a good one.
Wow.
Check it out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got anything else to add to this episode, Jerry?
Yeah. Besides "Damn the Man," Frank,
Yeah. Besides
Yeah.
Damn the Man.
keep rocking, folks, out in conspiracy land. We're having to change things a little bit because of copyright stuff. Frank's trying to play you little nibbles so you can hear what's going on, or why we picked the soundtrack or an album or a classic or whatever. But as far as the new band stuff is, it's still, there's all kinds of untapped talent out there, folks, in conspiracy land. There's great bands. Check out Bandcamp, Spotify, whatever. Facebook has good stuff. YouTube's got great videos. But just, yeah, keep rocking, folks, out in conspiracy land. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jerry. Support your local unsigned bands.
Yep.
You know, it's past my bedtime, but if you go see a show, go see a show. You know, support a band that's playing live.
Yep.
You know,
Buy some music.
Live
Buy a
music is
T-shirt.
the best. Yep.
Yep. All right, Jim, you got anything else for us?
Smash the like button.
All right. And if that's that, I like to say
Subscribe.
is subscribe. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're just about everywhere you can think. And yet, we got the same 66 followers. I don't know what the hell's going on, but all right, Jim, take us home.
Shop is closed.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, Jim, what do you got to say?
The shop is closed.
All right. All right.
We're just trying to do our show, all in the name of rock and roll. Trying our best to spread the news. Here comes Johnny Pino. lot to say.